Following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Race number 2 on the weekend area at the Darlington Raceway here for the Truck Series. Last night we had the Cup Series for a 200 lapper, and here we are today with 120 laps in the Tough Trucks. Who will tame the Lady in Black and who will be back on a roll black with a bunch of Darlington stripes? We will find out together. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Truck Series round number 9 at the Darlington Raceway for, again, 120 laps. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck with Brad Dalton helping out with the calls. So, Brad, last night was a pretty good race overall. I think it was only about 5 or so cautions over a 200-lap affair. We know the Truck Series has been a little rough and tumbly, but let's see how they can manage here today at the Lady in Black.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's good to be back on a Tuesday night. I know that's it's weird to hear my voice on a Tuesday night, but hey, I thought I'd jump in and have some fun here going through. Yeah, truck race, you know, even if I'm not on the booth, I'm still paying attention to what's going on here in the nature and the world of area, and there's been some interesting moments, there's been some fun things, and well, of course, that all boils down into a lot of stuff. 120 laps here tonight. We'll see how these drivers handle, and we'll see how quick some of these drivers' all F4 skills are when it's all said and done.
Yeah, last night a few of those drivers were quite good at doing that and at making sure they got out of the way to evade some wrecks that would have caused tons of caution flags. We had a couple drivers do it. Of course, Darlington is one of those nuanced tracks that when you have a spin on the flat, it will basically not cause a caution unless you are up on the 3 main racing lines. But we want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, if you're on Twitch, hit the follow button, as well as consider subscribing for $5 a month. Get yourself custom emotes, double points, and you can redeem those double points to get yourself some spiffy merch. So, that being said, qualifying underway right now. Let's take a gander at who is on the top of the board. It's Jacob Harberts. I believe he was actually one of the drivers that had to do an Alt F4 last night. Was doing well until it didn't happen. And then Ryan Andrews. So slightly varied top of the field here, but Harbert's one that I do believe does have a win here this season. Yes, he does. 4th in the points. So he'd love to carry that over here into a good race tonight.
Him, Alex Chilcutt, Jeremy Miller, Cole Caber, Trevor Edwards, Alex McCollum, all drivers with wins here on the season so far. So you've got a lot of representation all the way up and down this field through. Alex McCollum, 3 poles, but only able to convert into 1 win. Currently sitting on the bubble down in 12th in the points. It's kind of interesting to see right there where things are at. I mean, we talk about this on Monday nights, the fact that just because you're winning races doesn't guarantee anything, especially here in trucks. It's a game of attrition. It's a game of survival. It's not necessarily a game of, you know, being up at the front. You got to nail restarts. You got to nail pit stops. You got to have the whole package here on a Tuesday night in order to really have your best results.
Absolutely. Last night, of course, being 200 laps, really tested these drivers out. Rather in the Cup Series, where they did run out of tires. One of the few times in the area where tires ended up becoming the main deal, where they had to make strategic decisions. Now, we do have 80 laps shorter race with the same amount of tires, so I would reckon that they should be able to, you know, more fluidly choose when to use their tires. But We didn't really get too much information. Of course, Darlington is known, Brad, to be a cheese grater racetrack. It's known to really slip and slide around, and we've seen that, I think. So I think the trend will be that tire wear should be pretty important here tonight.
Yeah, looking at it, my indication is that tire wear is going to be more important than the fuel run, and that is a unique situation to be in. It's going to be more of a situation of worrying about tires than it is worrying about fuel, and usually the trick is to go a full fuel run and go through, but some of these drivers, they're going to choose to two-stop this instead of going through. You could probably, if you're willing to risk it for the biscuit, go on a one-stop all the way along, but I have a feeling that a lot of guys are going to choose two stops just to try to nurse those tires along.
Absolutely. And of course, a lot of that does depend on the nature of the race. Is it going to be a caution-ridden race? Is it going to run a little bit cleaner? Now, we do know that dirty air is a factor in these trucks. They are very prone to aero loose, so that does kind of make me more worried about some self-spins, some aero-induced spins, but last night they were tight and they could hardly even get close to each other. I think they'll have a little bit more wiggle room to race more on each other's doors, and that could lead to a little bit of contact.
That it could. And here's the thing with Darlington that we saw last night especially, there's a lot of this surface that is not considered racing surface. Basically everything above that dotted white line there where the track changes color is really where you see that difference. And if they spin down below that, well, Barney turns a blind eye. And well, when Barney decides to turn a blind eye, you know it's serious here. And getting word on the back end here, about 57 laps full bore on fuel is what we're looking at. So that'll be the moment to watch, and we'll see how it plays out.
57 laps, so that's just shy of halfway, so you could pedal it and gain an extra 3 laps, but depending how the fall off is, that old adage of is the pit stop at full speed going to be faster in the long run than going slower at half pace. But of course, we are closing in on the back end of our season here. Surprisingly, we are already getting there. Of course, we'll be off next week for the All-Star Week, and then we will only have 3 more races to the chase. Now, these drivers aren't headed to the Daytona Road Course that the Pro and Cup drivers will be at. They will be headed up to the Milwaukee Mile, the flat 1-mile track up there. And then we have Kansas and Dega, and then we will start ourselves some chase. And 5 races there. And I am excited, Brad, because we have Chicagoland in our chase, which I'm excited because I just love Chicagoland. But with the most recent build notes, or preview build notes, iRacing is going to beautify Chicagoland from 2009 up to 2026 standards. So you know how happy that makes me.
See, you're excited for Chicagoland. I'm excited for the following week where we go to Bristol. Bristol is probably one of those NASCAR tracks that I really, really enjoy. For Father's Day a couple years ago, I actually got my dad tickets to go to Bristol, and he went down to, it would have been 2023, I think it was. I got him tickets for Bristol, and he went and had the time of his life. So that's a track that I unfortunately have not been to, but it's on my to-do list, and I'm really thinking about just dragging my wife down and saying, hey, I don't think NASCAR is your thing. I know we're more of an IMSA household, but you got to experience Bristol at least once.
Well, I know you've been to Daytona too. That's another bucket list track that, hey, you know what? Maybe we can make a double date of that. That'll be a podcast topic. We'll head to Daytona, but we'll talk about that in about a 90-minute time frame, or 2 hours, or an hour and a half, or 2.5 hours, however long this race does take. But warm-up is coming to a close, and post our warm-up, of course, we will go into our starting lineup, of course, which is always provided by Central Mobile Homes. If you're looking for a small or large home, new shed, or triple crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes, proudly serving Florida customers for 30 years with a plethora of small, large home floor plans, shed designs, and triple crown trailers available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomeinc.com, and if you watched and listened to last night, you knew that I was under the weather. You can probably hear that I'm still under the weather, but as a terrible dad joke, we're all under the weather because none of us are in the upper atmosphere. But Terrible joke aside, Brad, the countdown is over, and when the transition happens, let's go down and provide, in 6 seconds, that Central Mobile Homes starting lineup.
Yeah, Central Mobile Homes, of course, always bringing you the starting grid here. Absolutely great to see them continuing their partnership with Area as they do. And Jacob Harbert's there for 609 Motorsports going to be starting on the front row with Garrett Conrath to his outside here. That's your top two. P3 here, Ryan Andrew on the night with Brad Slaughter Jr. kicking things off in that Toyota Tundra in fourth. Jalen Handcamp, fifth. Jonathan Evans in sixth. P7 here on the night. We're going to go to Alex Chilcutt and Travis Beckner there in eighth. The Hendry County flagman. Jeremy Miller in ninth place. I love Jeremy Miller's photo every time. And Cole Caber in 10th place.
11th, we find Danny Ware with Dante Curtis in 12th. 13th, we'll find the likes of Cody Dempster with Corey Bodie in the 14th spot. 37 trucks strong here this evening. Grant Brown, a very purple ride out of 15th with Aaron Johnson in 16th. 17th is Steven Oberstadt with Kyle Taub in 18th. And then rounding out the top 20, Trevor Edwards and William Hale, Celebration, Florida.
21st here on the night. We're going to go into Garrett Grant with Hayden Swank trying to find it from 22nd forward. 23rd, Josh Parrish with Austin Thiel in 24th. Ryan Swan and Chase Swank will find 25th and 26th respectively. And then Jeff Wilson and Ryan Nowicki in P28. 29th will be Zach Nerney with Ben Pierce in that number 65 Powerhouse Racing truck in P30.
Now we're just going to let the rest of these scroll on by because we do have a plethora, a myriad, an abundance, a insert synonym for large amount here of penalties to report, Brad. So much so that I was too lazy to try to even type out the names, but all those numbers, the first set are EOLs, the second set are drive-thrus. Now, not everybody is here. I think the drivers may have an inkling that if they don't run the race that their penalty clears itself, which I don't think is how the cookie crumbles here. But yeah, a lot of drivers, as you can see at the back of the shot, already peeling back for their end-of-line situations. And that is an interesting way to do it. Please don't tell me we're going to wreck. Please don't tell me we're going to wreck trying to sort out our penalties.
All right, truck drivers, come on now. Let's put our big boy pants on. We can do a grid with EOLs.
And what kind of penalty would that be if you wrecked trying to serve your penalty?
Exclamation ban. That is what I'm calling it.
Well, let's take a look at the weather conditions here from virtual Darlington. 77 in the air, 82 track. We are racing later in the evening than we started last night, so it is officially night in the sim, so it will only get darker and cooler, which will provide more grip. Which, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I guess take your positioning on that. Our race details, same as always, 100% fuel load, 4 sets of Goodyears in the pits. Those were at a premium last night. We'll see how important they are here this evening. Of course, no backup cars, fixed setups, and Brad, we have used, I guess myriad is my word of the night. We have used a myriad of green-white checkers, and hopefully we don't have to, but they are there.
They're there if we need them. And my hope is that we don't need them. My hope is that track limits play pretty here on the night, and Barney decides he wants to take a bit of a nap. Lord knows that he deserves it after one thing or another. So we'll see how Barney does here as the 1 to green signal is out. They added an extra pace lap in on this run, I think. I want to say there was an extra pace lap.
Yes, there is.
I think it's normally 2.
Yeah, we usually get 2 on long. When we have a lot of penalties at shorter tracks, we usually will get ourselves some bonus coverage here. And for the one person watching this that doesn't know what Darlington looks like, again, 1.3 mile egg shape oval. The reason it's an egg shape is there is a minnow pond that the owner of the land did not want to be destroyed, so they had to fit the shape of the available land. That's why Darlington has its very unique egg shape. And the banking they're running on, that was meant to be the wall. That was meant to be a barrier. That wasn't meant to be the racing line, but drivers found out it was faster, And that's why they use it, and that's where we are right now. Coming off turn number 4, Area Truck Series, entering the restart box. Harberts and Conrath ready to get ourselves going on the green flag there. Let's go racing side by side here at Darlington.
Side by side in the front for first and second place here. And I didn't actually catch how that one happened. I just saw a truck sideways.
I saw, I believe it was the 81 of Slaughter, who was just dead sideways the entirety of the corner there. And I didn't really see what else happened in front of me. You could see him sideways, sideways, sideways in the wall, and then that just checkup situation. 54 around, of course, Jonathan Evans. But it all stemmed from Slaughter just being very loose, and then just obviously at Darlington, there's just no place to evade.
It's such a unique situation to find yourself in here through, and then, well, you have the additional spins from the checkup through, and a couple more guys getting caught up, and then the slide down, and yeah, I mean, it's such a narrow margin on the track here. I mean, you're running essentially 2 lanes, if not a little bit less, to try to hold these trucks side by side all the way through and really keep it together and get your way through these 120 laps on cold tires right at the front at the start. And it's not going to settle in single file before the exit of turn 2 at minimum. So it does take a minute there to really get it going.
Absolutely. If you can get about 5 or 6 laps in here, everyone gets into a little bit of a bubble. Usually things will progress on through. But let's see what kind of damage some of these drivers will have. Again, Jonathan Evans, he was probably the one that got the shortest end of the stick there. But ironically, Brad Slaughter, who was kind of the instigator on that, and to no ill will, he got loose, cold tires. But he really didn't get anything out of that besides just kind of stacking up the field. Racing admin calling that a racing deal, which I think is fair enough to say. Not even a scuff on the back of that car truck.
Anything now. I don't know if you saw the GT Endurance Turn 1 incident at Monza.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to say, if they can call that a racing incident, and we took out a dozen cars, including all of your top 8 on a run, definitely I agree with the call there, racing incident. As we go 1 to green here, trucks are going to shuffle their way through double file and get ready to get this one rolling again.
Absolutely. Harberts and Handcamp as Garrett Conrath, as you'll probably see many a time here this evening. The restarts from the outside lane are a little difficult, and Handcamp was able to get into second, but that may be to his detriment now, because now he's going to be in the same predicament that Conrath is, trying to get the run off the outside. Alex Chilcutt in the 60, just behind that, trying to take advantage of whatever situation. Of course, Chilcutt does have a win on the season. Conrath, our points leader, and this has been the trend up until last night with the Cup Series. The points leaders haven't been winning races, and to this far in the season, Conrath, our points leader, still has the goose egg in the win column, but maybe tonight will be the night, but we'll see what'll happen. In 115 laps, we really didn't get going at all. Let's see if we can get going this time, Brad.
Coming out of turn 4, heading down to the Sunoco restart zone here at Darlington. We get green in that 80 of Jacob Harberts. Great getaway there on the outside line. Handcamp not able to get through already. That number 80 truck of Harberts clearing up here, heading through 1 and 2. And everybody keeping it nice and tidy through those 2 lanes here as we come out of 2, holding side by side. Mind the wall. We haven't even talked about Darlington stripes yet, but you best believe these trucks are going to get some Darlington stripes. We're getting some single file running here in the front. Coming out of 4, first full green flag lap of this race. And we'll come across the line here with Never Mind.
I see Seidenfaden. I see Nowicki. I see some black flags, probably meatballs on the board, and not from Olive Garden. Olive Garden is highly overrated. That'll probably come up later in the race. But, all right, Boss Man right behind Seidenfaden here. Oh, Seidenfaden went Curry style, dove it in deep for 3. It bricked. And
then the boss there just earning every bit of his Darlington stripes.
And then to the bottom of the track separately, you have Chase Swank.
What happened to Chase? So the wreck's in front of him.
He just lost it on his own, trying to react to the situation. And then Garrett Grant just sneaking on by, and a bunch of other drivers just coming to a dead stop. But yeah, that stemmed from Seidenfaden. And again, we'll get just one more look at that, just because why not? That was the 62 that got kerplunked there from a rear, William Hale. And how Hale didn't have any issue from that absolutely flabbergasts me, but he lucked out as well.
Listen, sometimes luck is just really what you need. You don't even need a lot of, skill sometimes. Just luck can play your way through. One of the things I did like with what I saw there going into the front, I liked seeing your top 5, top 6 get things into a rhythm quickly. You could tell they were trying to hit the single file run. They were trying to just let things be and really start to spread through the field. And that's what we saw last night that got us our long green flag runs. It was the leaders starting that single file go and just running these trucks through. Last night it was cars, and running them through and just holding single file pace all the way along. We saw a lot of tire management and a lot of pace management up at the front from Van Drugman and Sebastian Marin last night, and that is the game that they need to play up here in the front. Is for Jacob Harberts. He needs to get to the front, and then he needs to hold that through. By the way, the last 2 runs here, this track has been ran every season of area. The last 2 times we've been here, guess who the winner's been?
Garrett Conrath?
Sebastian Marin, but I would have given Garrett Conrath a guess myself if I didn't have it in front of me. So Sebastian Marin winning season 6 and season 7. And season 6 was caution-free flag to flag.
Well, yeah, we obviously aren't doing that. Now, you can see on the ticker some black flag logos there for drivers in the back of the field, and I'm trying to reference here with our penalties. Now, I see the 15, I see the 86. So basically, all of the drivers who've had a drive-through penalty, we haven't had a green flag lap yet. So they are still on the hook for their drive-through penalties. So, because of course, if we don't actually complete a full lap, they don't have any opportunity. Of course, they'll have 3 laps of green flag racing in order to clear that penalty. So they're hoping they can just get this over with and get that monkey off their shoulders there, or their back, or wherever you don't want a monkey to be located. But heading into the Sunoco restart zone, Harberts and Handcamp on the go pedal there. And we'll get driving off again, whole shot to the 80. And now Conrath going to try to recoup the 2nd spot.
That inside line really seems to be the way to get the start going here, but side by side for 2nd, Conrath and Handcamp trying to work things out. Then you have Miller and Chilcutt behind who are holding side by side as well. Bit of wiggling there on the exit. I saw a big smack to the wall there on the exit of 2. We're 3 wide going into 3.
Oh, jeepers creeper. Oh, those are the penalty drivers. Okay. I was having a mini heart attack there, but they were heeding to their penalty there. As we saw a couple times last night, drivers struggling with the pit entry here at Darlington. If green flag stops do come into play, that will certainly be something to take heed to later in the event. But we have managed to, at least for the time being, get about the top 15 or so single file. The first double file formation goes back to the 55 of Parrish and Ryan Swan in the Rick Sotsauce mobile. But they will sort that pass out. And then just going a little further back, Kyle Taub and Ben Pierce. We do have a couple throwback schemes. Of course, that's Sterling Marlin there for the 65 of Pierce. And a couple others sprinkled in that I'll try to recall through the event.
Yeah, just keep an eye on all of these trucks as they go through. Here we go. Our drive-through drivers are blending back into traffic. Keep an eye on them as they will mix things in here, there, and a bit of everywhere, because they are going to pull through, get in a position, and then they need to start trying to work their way along, because Swank, Smith, and Logan Hartman all sitting a lap down. We already have one disqualification, by the way. Ryan Andrew disqualified from the event. Not sure what happened there to knock that truck out, but one truck done and dusted here, and we're only a tenth of the way through this race.
Yeah, of course, there's no incident system here to put a driver out of the race, so really the only reason to be out of the race by disqualification would be, driving backwards or a meatball that would take more than the distance of the race to get fixed, which could be plausible. I don't really recall seeing that, but, unfortunate for him nonetheless. But Harberts and Handcamp leading the charge down. Looks like Jeremy Miller is under fire from Brad Slaughter, who is no longer as loose as he was prior. And you can see running right at his tire tracks, Brad. We saw a lot of drivers running different lanes last night, but as I talked about, with a cooler track temp, it does kind of take some of the lane variance out of it. You just kind of want to run the best lane because there's going to be enough grip to run it.
Yeah, and having the grip in the car not being the concern through, it's just a matter, or in the truck, goodness gracious, I'm doing the thing. It's just a matter of keeping the truck together, keeping the truck in the go, and, well, being really, really smart about your go. One of the things to remember here, you don't win the race on lap 14, but you can certainly lose it because you have no backup truck waiting for you. If you have a big error, it is just game over. So picking that sort of bit of patience here on a track that's difficult to pass, making sure you're in the right lane to really feel good here and get your way all the way through to the end. That is, I think, going to be the ultimate game.
Forrest Smith here, he is one of the lap down vehicles there. He's passing Cole Cabry there, who is running outside of the top 10 and 13th spot. Do have a battle going on up here in the top 5. That's Chilcutt and Dempster. Again, running side by side into one. Typically goes against the Darlington etiquette. They tried to make it work, and they did have some wall contact there. Chilcutt remaining in 4th, and that puts Jeremy Miller in close proximity to try to get that 5th spot, as well as Brad Slaughter.
And if we can start seeing these drivers a bit further back work their way forward, one of the things that you really have to watch out for here at Darlington, we saw it a lot last night, was the more you battle, you really, big loose there from Jeremy Miller, wiggling through in the middle of the corner. He's going to fall back a little bit, and then, well, he's able to recover a bit. Battle for the lead up here in the front. Handcamp going to try to go underneath the inside of Harberts here, see if he can make that pass stick.
And he tries to, but as we saw last night in the Cup Series, making that pass on the bottom in 3 and 4 is a Herculean feat. Only driver we were able to see do it, take a guess, Sebastian Marin. But we'll see, again, where the passing opportunities are going to be. What I think is going to be the magic ticket is getting the good run off of turn number 2, drag racing down the back straightaway, and then just flat doing a dive bomb send it move into 3. I think that's probably going to be the surefire way to pass here, unless somebody just wants to play nice and give it to you. But still having some tight nose racing here. And Dempster is right to that back bumper of Chilcutt, following that number 60 so tightly. And we know how that rear air grief, Brad, as the kids say it, certainly could come into play here running that tight quarters.
Yeah, and, I said it last night, dirty air always has to be a conversation in every series. And it's always there. It's always rearing its ugly head. It's always doing something. Wiggle there off the exit for the 24 of Cody Dempster, able to hold on to it, though. A lot of drivers really, really having to play catch up with the truck, and you got to stay about 6 inches ahead of where the truck is and really know what your truck is doing, what the tires are doing, where the grip is, where it isn't. If you're going to slide a bit off the corner, you got to play that game a little bit here. And if you don't do that, well, it's going to catch you off guard. You end up in the infield. Barney doesn't throw a caution if you go down to the inside, and, well, you end up back a lap. You're going to see a lot of drivers do that same wiggle off of 2 and 4. Dive to the inside for the lead. Handcamp through. Well, maybe I spoke too soon.
Well, side by side again, turn 1 and 2 passes are not typically where you want to be, but this could be the send it range move. I think he's not close enough, but he was on the edge whether he wanted to send it maybe a little early in the race for that aggressive move. Of course, we saw last night in the Cup Series race with Scioli and Van Drugman what a slide job diver move can do, and it'll make one driver happy, but one will certainly be remembering that move. So didn't want to get on his bad side, but he'll fall back in line. But certainly one of the better runs we've seen this season from Jalen Handcamp, who enters this race in the point standings in the position that they're of nowhere, because I just did a control F for his name, but he's not on the sheet.
Don't have a good answer on that one either, to be honest. Trying to look myself and drawing a blank. So,
yeah, I control F on the point sheet. So yeah, so obviously he is not a truck driver, but he's out here to play here at Darlington and showing some good pace here. And I'll feel like a royal idiot if he is on here and I just can't find it. But I feel like an idiot quite often, so that won't bother me too much. But we have a good battle going on still, and this battle in the top 5 has just been utterly juicy here. And Jeremy Miller, fresh off a win not too long ago, that was actually no, it was at Daytona. But he has been having better runs as of late. Of course, up there in the point standings. Now underneath Brad Slaughter for that 6th position. Just behind that, Travis Beckner, who didn't obviously get too much damage off that lap 1 incident that he was slightly affiliated with.
yeah, I think he got away with that lap 1 incident really well, honestly. I think he got very lucky, very fortunate to get away with that in the way that 81 stuck to the wall. Stuck to the wall. Look at that.
Yeah, and the name of whatever that country singer is, him and that wall baby, they were stuck like glue, and he fell back.
Sugarland.
There we go. I wouldn't have came up with that, so thank you for that. But yeah, he was stuck like glue to the wall, and that cost him spots. Luckily, he was able to maintain control of the vehicle. And again, Travis Beckner, of course, you can see him on June 6th at that racetrack for some open wheel mods, V8 Warriors, and more. Tickets $20 for adults, and basically everybody else, kids, teens, and seniors, are eligible for discounts. And if they're under 5, they get it free. Come see them in Clewiston, Florida, which I just learned yesterday is in the southwest part of Lake Okeechobee. Hendry County Motorsport Park at henryracing.com.
Look at this move down the inside, down the front stretch into turn 1. The 30 of Jeremy Miller trying to go. A little bit of a wiggle there from Cody Dibster. The 24, but able to hold on to it. Back single file, squeezing down low. Miller really wants to go. We hop on board here with Beckner trying to find a move. Bump drafting at Darlington. Now that's unusual as we're 2x2, and again, this is the battle for 5th place. So these guys racing for 5th place like they're racing for the win, and we're lap 28 of 120. We're less than 100 laps to go at least, but we still got plenty of time here. But these drivers know if they can't get these trucks forward quickly, they're going to lose touch very, very quick with everyone up in the front. As you can see, Harberts and Handcamp have pulled over a 2nd gap to Garrett Conrath in 3rd.
Yeah, big spread out here as this battle goes on. Beckner all the way down to the flat there, trying to do whatever he can do to clear. Talked about that Darlington dive bomb, and I think he may have done a Darlington half dive bomb, but I expect them to be a little bit more malicious later in the race. There's some contact between Beckner and Dempster. Again, side by side into 1, which is very tight. As I said, Brad, the old 90s and early 2000s Darlington, you never pictured running side by side on the entry of 1 and on the exit of 2, but we live in a new world where we use every inch of this very narrow racetrack.
Yeah, and using every inch of the narrow racetrack, it produces great racing. That is the thing that you really have to watch here with Darlington. You know, we talk about how narrow the racing lane really is here. You can see it right now, and it narrows up even more going into the corners. The 24 going sideways. He's holding on to it. Watch the wheel. Watch the wheel. Is he able to keep it together? Yes, he is. Look at that off the exit of 2. What in the world was that save? And he holds the position. Get out of here.
Do we?
I think we do.
How did you save that car?
Well, I'm just so daggone good.
A little early, but I don't want to not condone the opportunity there. As big slide job there from Brad Slaughter, and I think finally that battle will have come to a conclusion here, at least for the time being. Let's go back and find some other good racing here on the racetrack. And you go back to the 13th spot. That was Corey Bodie in the pseudo Sundrop truck hitting the wall. But here is Kyle Taub underneath the 55 of Josh Parrish. This is for the 12th spot. Behind that, Jonathan Evans. Remember, he was involved in one of those opening cautions, but clearly has not been too affected by it, although he has had a lot of work done. In fact, his last pit stop there, Brad, was a very, very long one. Jonathan Evans in the pits for 32 seconds. So that meant he was getting some major repairs done.
Yeah, when you're in the pits that long, that is the clear indication that you are having a big fix on your car, because normally you don't stay in the pits nearly that long, but, well, sometimes you have to, and when you do, it definitely is not ideal. But you know, no fast repairs here, no backup trucks. You don't get to go in, blink, and get a brand new truck and roll back out. If you pick up a bunch of damage, it's a run what you brung situation, and you just really have to. I don't want to say have to suffer with it, but you're gonna just feel it is. Well, caution 3 maybe on the night. I don't actually know.
Austin Teal in the 06 has at least triggered my attention. Oh, and he has certainly triggered my attention.
Let's look here. How did this happen?
Oh, Parrish in the wall. I mean, yeah, Parrish was in the wall, and then Austin was kind of just the innocent bystander. There's Cole Cabry doing a slalom there, and again, really nothing that Parrish, or rather Teal, could really do.
I know we say to build that Dollar Generals go up everywhere, but I don't think we want Dollar Generals on the Darlington wall, if we're honest with ourselves here.
And you know something that, just speaking of racetracks and corporate brands, I know people are actually really mad about Charlotte Motor Speed. We'll talk about that after this pit stop, but Jacob Harberts, as the leader, will lead the train into the pits here, lap 35. This is just past 25% distance. I did the math, so you didn't have to. So this would be a perfect time to put the tires on. It won't get you to the end, but again, we have tonight an abundance of tires, so we won't be worrying about those, as should be a straightforward 4-tire stop for everybody.
And it looks like that is precisely what we are seeing here as everyone goes through. I don't think anyone took a short pit stop. No. We don't see any cheeky 2-tire, 4-tire strategy like some of what we saw last night.
Out of the pits first, though. And
yeah, he had a half a second faster lane time, so pushing the edge on the speed there.
Absolutely. And that's very quickly to my point. So Charlotte Motor Speedway used to have, and I've never been to Bojangles because I don't have them in New England, but I guess there was an infield Bojangles, and I guess they renamed it. No, that's how he got out of the pits first. He done sped.
Oh, well,
saw that last night with Sebastian Marin, but yeah, the Bojangles at Charlotte, apparently it's some generic like checkered flag chicken tenders now. They took the corporate branding off and just made it a generic chicken shop. So that made people upset, because as race fans, we have to get upset over completely useless things, right?
Listen, if you haven't had Bojangles chicken, though, it's delicious. So that's what I have to say about it. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Hear everyone complaining about Wingstop, how they're just using Tyson brand chicken, which, I mean, Tyson is a major chicken producer, but I think everyone thinks that Wingstop is just selling Walmart chicken tenders. But anyways, my TikTok...
Pretty sure Wingstop is.
Yeah, my TikTok is all over the place. But Jacob Harberts was scared, was for a brief moment not the control vehicle, but now he is. And Conrath back to the outside. You have Chilcutt in a different paint scheme here today that will throw me off, albeit it is still a Hendry County truck, but it is, I can't pinpoint it. So we'll try to figure that out over the course of the race. But back on the loud pedal here for another restart, taking lap number 37. Saw some wheel spin, see some drivers all the way down to the flat. Not sure what that's all about, Jacob Bell being one of them, but we funnel off into turn one.
Into turn one, everybody in the back of the field sorting themselves a bit with those spins and wiggles. But everybody up in the front going through. Few drivers deciding to just pay the wall. A little bit of a smooch and run there. Out of turn two as they head down the backstretch into three. Bit of 2x2 further back up in the front. We've gone single file with that Voodoo Ranger truck. A little wiggle there, but able to hold on here, trying to find a way forward. And, well, if you can get any positions on a restart, you do pretty well here, honestly.
Now Hayden Swank registering a black flag on the ticker, so he will have to take heed to that as Seidenfaden strike two on the day. But that may be one of the Darlington cautions we don't have as a caution because it's well down there on the flat.
Yeah, we talked about that white line denotes track limits really, sort of, mostly. So let's take a look here as we go. And, oh, he had help. That was a big old help there from Brad Slaughter.
There's one place on a racetrack that you don't want to make contact with somebody. It's on corner exit because that is where the vehicle is at its most vulnerable. So he really had not a chance. But again, because of the Darlington situation here with how the caution flags are triggered or not triggered, as I think that's Ryan Swan running the Darlington chicane back there. He was all the way low on the straightaway, but goes back into lane. Which brings me up to the point of Rick's Hot Sauce. Of course, some of the best hot sauces are made by Rick's Hot Sauce in South Florida, Palm Beach, Pineapple, Golden Garlic, Lokahatchee Classic, or South Beach Heat. And of course, check out the $100 Rookie of the Year prize on the Monday Night Cup Series presented by Rick's Hot Sauce at rickshotsauce.com.
Tell you what, some Rick's Hot Sauce would be good right now for some of the spicy racing going along. Checking in with 609 Motorsports, Dante Curtis, who's ripping the high line there, getting passed down to the inside by William Hale in the number 62. That is a battle for P7 into 3 and 4. The drivers really letting gaps build here. This is the thing with Darlington. If we get these runs going, the gaps are going to open up. And then you end up with little pockets of racing, little pockets of battles, and things kind of naturally funnel themselves out into pace and into who's saving tires, who's not saving tires. Then every once in a while, you're going to see things get a little bit wild here.
And Ernie here had Ryan Swan up his deck lid there, but has managed to find a little bit of space there, as that is in the 13th spot. And just ahead of that, Garrett Grant, Danny Ware, Kyle Tao being the last driver in the top 10 there, of course, in the 10th position. Here's Travis Beckner into the wall. Cody Dempster, and also into the wall, and you can see some serious splitter damage for Travis Beckner.
I think Beckner's truck is definitely feeling that one. That's some hard hit there. Let's get a replay of how this happened. 24 trying to work the inside, slides up, taps Beckner through, and then, well, the 24 still tight in the corner, slides and basically just self-pit maneuvers into the wall off the front end of Beckner.
Yeah, so Beckner is going to be in parachute mode. The aerodynamics, probably some suspension, absolutely compromised here in that Hendry County Dodge Ram, as Dempster may not be on the Hendry County Christmas card list. I don't know if Dempster will be getting any of those aforementioned discounts at his next visit to Hendry County. But Grant Brown making some headway in that number 14 truck in the top 5 now, looking for more. He is right behind William Hale. And then just behind that, again, Jonathan Evans. Remember, he was in one of those opening cautions, but now he has worked his way just outside of the top 5. And we know he is a driver that can get up there and contend for wins. If we don't have another wreck, Cody Dempster into the wall off of 2.
Dempster and Beckner are pinned to the high line right now, and that is exactly where those two trucks do not need to be with as much damage as they have. They need to be down on the bottom of the track, letting this field through, and they are getting pinned to the high line because, well, everyone's got to work around them somehow, and it's where it's funneled itself. But now you have trucks getting checked up behind. You've got this pack mixing up. This is a ticking time bomb, is all I can say here. Now Beckner trying to go to the inside there along. Oh, goodness gracious me, what is happening?
I think Ben Pierce just decided to pull the parachute there and say, I ain't dealing with that. At least that's what it appears anyways. He's all the way to the back. But as you said, pardon me, a ticking time bomb. That's we see blocking. We see nearly 3 wide entering the corner here. This is just not what will work here at Darlington. And at least at this moment in time, we've made it work. Don't know how. I'm not going to ask why, but I'm going to appreciate that that's somehow sorted out.
Beckner back up on the high line there, and you have the 06 working there. Austin Field and the Liquid Death truck working through. Liquid Death water, by the way, is delicious if you've never had it. Just a side note. Expensive, but delicious. And it's also fun because it's water, and the cans make it look like it's something better.
I always thought it was an energy drink. That's why I've never tried it.
Nope, it is straight up mountain spring water in a can that is meant for if you go to festivals, concerts, events like that, to not look like you are just drinking water.
Oh, so you can feel like you're an alcoholic, but you're just staying normally hydrated. Interesting.
Yeah, or, people who don't drink for various reasons, myself on that list,
pretend to be an alcoholic, you can fit in.
Yeah, you fit in and you don't have people going, oh, you're just drinking water, you want a beer? You have a fancy looking can that looks like a can of beer.
I mean, that is amazing marketing right there, I will say. Another company that gets me Dude Wipes. Best marketing ever. Just because it's...
they have great marketing.
Yes, they do. $1 million idea. When are we going to get a male masculine scented laundry detergent? I feel like it's $1 billion idea. Give me like an Axe flavored, not flavored, because we've already ate Tide Pods before. We know how that goes. Why can't we get like Axe scented laundry detergent? It seems so obvious.
Wait. Do we not have that already?
If it is, I can't find it. So, of course, that is a podcast topic of which this is not. There is no, if you could find a masculine scented detergent, I will tell you to keep the broadcast funds from tonight, Brad. So good luck with that, except not seriously. But Garrett Grant closing in on Danny Ware. Speaking of energy drinks, of course, the monster ride of Danny Ware. As we get ourselves a little bit of a racing stretch going on. Love to see it here. And here's Kyle Taub underneath Dante Curtis. And we're seeing that inside lane work a little bit better through 3 and 4, more so than we saw it last night. And I think a lot of that might be the grip level. Again, we're fully in the night. Last night in the Cup Series, we were more late afternoon into the absolute onset of night. But as you can tell here at Darlington, we don't have a moon because iRacing won't give us one, but we are fully under the lights.
And this is a track that's fun under the lights, I have to be honest. It really grips up, it holds through, and, well, it helps aid in a bit of that challenge all the way along for these drivers.
Aaron Johnson, what did you do, my friend?
Take a look here and see, and looking at just hospital wobble.
Yeah, thought he was going to save it. It was that. Actually, I don't know why that was oh, that's where it was. He crossed.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh, and Dollar General, Josh Parrish just sneaking through, but it was that last little back maneuver up the track. Cross into the 3 main racing lanes here at Darlington, and that's what triggered it, because the majority of that would not have caused a caution under normal terms. But that stint length was 19 laps, Brad, so we were told somewhere about 58 laps to the end, so we're still technically out of a range to make it to the finish, unless you super want to try and save it. But I don't think with caution flags we're going to really have to worry about that too much.
I was going to say, with cautions, I don't think we're going to have to worry. I think this is a case where I would go ahead and pit now, get all the fuel, get a fresh set of tires, and be ready to go to the end here and just work it out. That is exactly what I think everyone in the front is going to do here as they head into pit lane. And yeah, everybody going to come through, get 4 tires, get a full tank of fuel, and be ready to party. Led by Jacob Harberts in the 80, Conrath, Chilcutt, Hale, Evans. Does anyone get cheeky and try to do a 2-tire strategy? Do we see any of these trucks get a little bit cheeky and go for a 2-tire strategy? I'm going to imagine the answer is a resounding no, but let's keep an eye and find out here.
Well, we saw it last night. I don't think there's much of a need to, but we also really haven't got to follow the fall-off situation too closely here today, so we'll try and follow that at some point during the show here and watch if anybody is going to have major fall-off and what that does. But here we go with the race out. Here is Jeremy Miller in the 30 coming out very quickly there. Now, he may have done something cheeky because his pit lane time was 4 seconds quicker than anybody else. So I think if... Yeah, there's your cheekiness, Jeremy Miller.
And Jalen Handcamp, 9.1 in the box. So, couple drivers deciding they want to try it.
Now, some of it could be track position. We also know some of it could be handling, too. Sometimes with these fixed setups, they aren't to the driver's liking, so that offset handling situation by putting 2 tires on sometimes actually will make the truck drive better. And Brad, I see that you just DM'd me something from laundry sauce. I'm not counting that as detergent because those little like fabric booster, fabric softener ball things, that doesn't count. That's not detergent.
Okay.
My wife doesn't let me use the fabric softener things. Allegedly,
I can't say a lot.
Allegedly, fabric softener is bad for your washing machine, so I'm not allowed to use it. So
I don't know if that's accurate, but I mean, it could also
it's a wax,
be
basically.
accurate.
So the only reason fabric softener does anything is because it's basically coating your clothes in wax, giving you the appeal that they feel soft and smell good. And that wax will build up in your washer.
Softener.
So yeah.
We don't use it in my household at all because that's one of those things that you can do to save money, is only buy detergent. So
absolutely. So now you have learned things that you had no reason to know, that fabric softener is bad and that we are looking into laundry detergent here. But we are also looking into nearly the halfway point here in the Area Truck Series round number 9 from Darlington, where Jacob Harberts has led basically the entire show here today, specific number being 55, which that is the perfect race. We're on 56, so he has the perfect race, but Garrett Conrath, again, trying to break the winless drought. He is going to try to make something happen, and how will the 2 tires react on the 30 and on the 67? We'll find out as we are into 1 and 2.
Into 1 and 2, and you can see those
drunk.
fresh out. Oh, we're wrecking in the front, too.
Oh, we got 2 sponsor trucks. We got the Boss and we got Swan. I think Austin
Liquid
Teal.
Death.
So let's go take a gander here.
I thought I saw a second wreck happen out of the top 5 as well.
Oh, 56 got turned, I think, by the 54.
I do believe you're correct.
And that created a stack up.
And then Jacob Bell got absolutely hit trying to stop. Person behind him holding ARCA brakes, I believe.
Yeah. And then, just random spinning through the field. Teal was back up into the track and I think had some contact with somebody as he blended back on the track. But that kind of stemmed, the 54 was all the way down to the flat 3 wide, trying to make something happen. And as he blended onto the track, again, there was just no room for it. So that puts us under another caution. Now, I usually like bringing up the drivers that have the sponsors on them. And in this case, Jacob Bell, he's going to be in the pits for this ad read. But Blue Tip Pool Builders can bring some life to your backyard this summer. They can customize your pool to your unique aesthetic and style with their skilled craftsmen with cutting-edge tech it'll bring your pool to life. If you don't have a pool, they can do dynamic lounging, outdoor kitchens, and anything to bring your backyard some spice this summer. Head to bluetippools.com. And also, folks, I think I have been perfect tonight with muting my coughs. Brad, I know you have been hearing every single one of my coughs. I think I have muted every single one, so if I have missed one, folks, I do apologize. And I also don't think I've made the mistake where usually when I get sick, I'll accidentally mute myself and then I forget to unmute myself. I think I've actually nailed it here today with being sick and not making any audio mistakes. So if a one does slip through the cracks, folks, I apologize, and I apologize for your ears, Brad.
I'm fine. It could be worse. So just let it be, as long as the broadcast isn't hearing it, that's fine. I can handle it. So it's part of the game of throwing the two bosses together on the channel. We get to hear each other's pain and fun. The only difference is you don't necessarily hear mine because of the way the audio is set up. So it's always fun through, and you never know. One day maybe Corey will have to listen to me cough for a while.
Yeah, it's no fun. Luckily, I have a day off tomorrow, but we won't be. Brad won't be off tomorrow. Elbows Out Racing live tomorrow night, Wednesday night here on PTR TV, and then I will be back here on Thursday night with. I don't know who I'm going to be with. I'll be with somebody for the Florida State Builders Pro Series. I'm doing the triple header here at Darlington, but we are now actually at the official halfway point in the race, and we still do have the perfect race on the table here. I don't think they can make it to the end, so we'll see if that comes into play. But right now, Harberts has led every single lap, and what can Conrath do from the outside of row number one? Barney has the flag in hand. Let's get it waving, and let's see if we can get a little bit further into the run this time.
Into 1 and 2, top two get back single file yet again. The 80 getting the jump over the 49, and then everyone third place back holding their 2x2. Few wiggles there.
We can't.
And back up into the no. Oh, we're still wrecking. Hey, 35, hold the brakes next time, please.
I'd play the Benny Hill theme song, but I do want to keep my $2 of monetization on this stream. But let's go back and see what happened to Jonathan Evans there in the 26. Now he had Conrath underneath him off of 2. No. Oh, that's one of those who bet in the middle situations. But yeah, there's nothing he could have done in a million years right there to evade that.
30.
He was just flat, right-hand hook to send. Well, not right-hand hook, but he was hooked and entering the corner at Darlington. He couldn't do anything there.
Yeah. Ugh. Ouch. And then the 35 trying to work down to get away.
What was your roast to him? What did he do wrong?
Sideways. Oh, I told him to hold the brakes.
I don't think he did a bad job there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I take it back mostly.
Mostly, not all of it. Now, we do have pit stops, now mainly because half the field was involved in the wreck there, but for these drivers making the pit stops, it'll almost certainly get them to the end of the race fuel-wise, if that happens to be an applicable situation. But the majority of the field staying out, the top 16 or 17 drivers staying out. But we're going to take this opportunity to take a small commercial break, enjoy some copyright-free autocross race cars. We'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back for the restart here. Lap number 65. Again, the majority of the field did stay out, but we did have some pit stops around 17th on back. Again, we're estimating about 58 laps on fuel. So technically, those drivers who did just pit heading back in the field to around the 16th spot, Ben Pierce on back. They could make it to the end if Powerball strikes and we somehow run this out to the checkered flag. Jacob Bell, I think, kissing the wall there. Again, we still do have the perfect race on the table. Jacob Harberts has led every single lap thus far. It's going to be a stretch to be able to do the perfect race here, Brad, especially where we have differing strategies. I think that's going to... Never mind.
Guys.
What if there's a girl? What if there's a girl in this race?
Men, women, and those who identify as Larry the Lobster.
Bodie Luce into the boss man. Kyle Taub.
Do you know who you don't want to get into? Probably the boss man.
Good times. And we haven't been keeping up here with the admin calls, but lap 61, 2 incident points given to the 60 of Garrett Conrath. Lap 56, 2 incident points given to Cole Cabry. And in a matter of about 6 seconds, we will have the incident report here on this caution. And these incident situations, 2 go into Corey Bodie there. And again, the more points that they get, eventually, that's where your end of lines come in. That's where you eventually progress to a drive-through. That's where you progress to a suspension. That's where you progress to a ban. And of course, with every race that goes by, with no incidents, you start to remove those tallies on your record here. But a lot of tallies to the record. You know what that means, Brad? Next week, or 2 weeks' time, whenever we're live next, we're going to have a lot of EOLs, but pit road is a busy place, again, back part of the field.
I just need these drivers to get a little patient here and just not overdrive. That seems to be the trend here for a lot of these wrecks. It's just guys pushing too hard too soon. If it's like lap 99 and you're sending it into the corner, I get it, but like lap 30, lap 40, like let's get some laps in.
Well, I guess you got to remember what series we're replicating here. The truck series is not known for long green runs and a lot of etiquette, so we are emulating the real world quite closely, even if not in an ideal manner here. But let's see. Michael Curhan is not here because he has the driver photo for this, but if you are looking to spend some money, you can spend it at shop.areairacing.com. Support the league with some high-quality merch at low prices, with some T-shirts, hats, Adidas clothing, and other area accessories with their new rebrand and all the cool logo and cool stuff. check it out. Easy to ship, quicker to ship, better to wear. I screwed that up, but you get the gist of it. Go to shop.areairacing.com.
It's exciting to watch here and see how this race is going to set up. We're 1 to green. We're hitting lap 70 of 120, so we're coming into 50 to go. If I can do math right, which is a big question on if I can do math right.
Well, that's an easy one. I'd hope you could do that. But yes, it is 50 to go. Well, it will be anyways.
So in theory, fuel shouldn't be an issue for anyone. Tires shouldn't be, well, I won't say tires won't be an issue. Tires should be manageable for most of these drivers to be.
For Harberts and company, 14 laps in, 50 to go. It'd be 50 plus 14. It's about 64 laps, but with all the cautions, I think that's enough coverage that they could probably get to the end too. Just be a matter of how the tires will sustain. Because again, we really haven't got to see the fall off because we haven't had enough of a run, maybe more than 10 or 12 laps. But we'll try it again. 80 on the gas pedal, getting us fired off, gets the whole shot. And Jeremy Miller, remember, he took 2 tires on that last caution, really to no detriment. He's still chugging along with a high rate of pace here underneath Garrett Conrath for second.
And wiggle through, a lot of stripes on the back end there. Look at Garrett
Jesus.
Grant going through. We got one spin all the way. Never mind, Dollar General. And we're still green. We're still green. Barney took a nap, guys. Barney took a nap. We're still green, and we put a Dollar General down on the back stretch.
And I will quickly try to see what happens. Oh, 65 of Ben Pierce. We're still green, by the way. I'll get one more look at it from Ben Pierce. What happened to him? He was into the wall. 15 of Forrest Smith into him. But again, all of that stayed below the racetrack, which is why Barney let them keep going. Or perhaps Barney's shoulder is just in need of a massage and he just didn't want to wave the flag. But we'll take it how we can get it. Still green flag conditions. Jeremy Miller not able to get second. He'll fall back to third. Conrath there in the second spot. And I mean, he's pretty close. I mean, Harberts really hasn't had a direct battle at all today. But Conrath hanging in within 0.2 of a second.
I mean, that's all Conrath really needs to do right now heading in to the go. I would say within 20 to go, I'd really start to be pushing it. But for right now, for Garrett Conrath, this is exactly what needs to be done. Just stay right there in the back and stay close here for the low money racing driver through. Here's the 09 and the 45 battling. Watch out for Mr. 6'7" back behind, looking to make some sort of a move. And well, Jalen Handcamp not able to do so, and we'll try to work through. This is back around P15 that we're looking here 2x2 back through the field.
2x2 here, which of course at Darlington is something that always just makes you just get a little bit nervous whenever you see side-by-side for a sustained period of time. A little bit further ahead, we also have side-by-side Trevor Edwards in the 85 of Jeff Wilson. And then you have Chase Swank. Don't know how that didn't cause a caution, but Chase Swank went on the outside off a 2 there. And the 85 of Jeff Wilson got the worst end of that. But again, we stay green, everyone chugging along. As I will say, I'm keeping an eye. Oh, jeepers.
Well.
67 and Jeremy Brown, rather intimate in turn 1 there. Somehow they managed to keep it in the right direction. Just behind that, you have Chilcutt. And now we're at the lack of patience time because the race is in its waning stages. Only about 20 minutes of race time if this does go green. Cole Cabry up to 5th, getting by Garrett Grant, who has quietly had himself a pretty solid effort here. And Cabry into the wall, getting loose still.
Oh.
Thought that was going to open the door for Garrett Grant to try to make a move, but Cabry able to keep enough momentum up.
A very, very good save there from him to be able to hold on to that car as they slid and not have anything too bad happen. Was able to just really keep it together and through. Here's the 71 trying to do the same thing here. Chase Swank currently leading Trevor Edwards heading into the corner. They are settling into a line here, and that 71 needs to try to work to close the gap up to the front. Dollar General going a lap down.
That is, of course, Josh Parrish, who is now exactly 1 lap down. And Conrad still staying within about 0.2 of a second of the leader. And we'll just go back and find the best racing on the track, and that is Trevor Edwards. Remember, Jalen Handcamp had got out of the pits first, but sped in the process and has yet to really fully recover from it. Let's go back to the front. Jeremy Miller. Oh, jeepers. I don't know how that worked, but it worked. Jeremy Miller was just really loose off the corner there, and that allowed... Yeah, that was actually a phenomenal move by Cabri there to manage to take advantage of that situation. Was able to clear with relative ease, but now Brad Slaughter trying to dig underneath that 54, who we know that 54 runs on the ragged edge of control a lot of the time there, Brad. So not a lot of space to recover by running it on the ragged edge here at Darlington.
Yeah, Cole Cabri, one of the drivers with a win here in this season so far. We'll see if that continues to be the momentum here, if the momentum can shift. Third place back, only a second off of the top two. Top two hanging out where they're at. Austin Deal trying to steal something here. And hey, look who's in 7th place there. One Mr. 66 7 Brew car of Zachary Nerney has managed to be patient, work his way up, and find his way forward for LVD Racing.
Yeah, solid run. I mean, always talk about him. He wouldn't if he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck there. As Cabri and Slaughter, I think Cabri tried to block, but too much momentum for the 81. He'll go down and clear, but a lot of times that's intentional to set up for a crossover move. Is that what Cabri has in the bank? That's for the 3rd spot. He won't have enough, and then behind that you have Jeremy Miller. So Cabri will fall to that 4th spot. One of the better runs this season for Brad Slaughter. And I can just tell by watching that 54, he has angered that right rear tire worse than lying to your wife and then going to Micro Center and spending $1,000 when you told him you're only going to buy a can of dust spray. He has angered that right rear tire. Oh, I don't know.
That just sounds like not a good idea here. A lot of drivers having great runs in Darlington tonight that usually wouldn't. I'm going to go back to Zachary Nerney for a second. His best finish this entire season, 21st place, 2 races ago in Indianapolis here in the Truck Series. So anything above a top 10 would be a great result for him. Looking at Brad Slaughter, a similar position that he finds himself in. His best finish was all the way back in Homestead, Miami. Round number 2, he finished in 4th. And other than that, he's basically finished outside of the top 15 every single race. So this would be a great result for him as well. If he can finish up here in a top 3, it'd be a great showing for him. And, well, I mean, you've got lots of drivers who are looking to have some of their best goes. Jacob Bell, didn't we see him in an incident earlier? He's sitting P11, and I'm not just bringing him up because he's the boss man, and I feel like I should, but because that's a genuine good result for him.
Yeah, and it turns into those situations, largely for a Brad Slaughter, who's just really not even had a solid finish since very early in the season, where you just want to maintain. If he falls back to 5th or 6th, you're still having a great day, a great points day, a great confidence day. And you don't want to, you want to get the best position you can. And right now he is actually faster than the top 2 drivers. But I'd rather take a 3rd than wreck myself going for the win and then finishing 30th. So, but right now, Slaughter is actually the fastest driver on the track. We'll bring up the lap times. You can see last time by a 30.8. That was about a 1/10.5, almost 2/10 faster than Harbert's. And quite visibly, you can see how quick Slaughter is in eliminating that gap. And it has nothing to do with the tires, because he is on the same tire strap as the leaders right now. The first person who pit on that last cycle is actually this driver right here, Jalen Handcamp, but he only pitted for, I believe, either 2 tires or fuel only on the last caution.
So here is what's going to be interesting for me with Slaughter. Slaughter has to get past Conrad, your defending champion here in the Truck Series. then has to try to get past Harvards, who is running a great season. Of course, won in Vegas, has a multitude of second places to his name as well, and is running through. So you're asking for a big challenge here. A little bit of a wiggle from Nerney here as trucks work their way by. Jacob Bell moving up into 10th place, shuffling Nerney back to 11th. Those 32-lap tires starting to see a little bit of difference in pace there, but if you ask Brad Slaughter, I think they're feeling pretty doggone good right now.
Feeling good indeed, as Handcamp, who, and once he's kind of been relegated into the pack, has not really shown the pace he did earlier, as Austin Teal, who, as I always like to say, hit everything but the lottery here today, but still in a solid top 10 spot and going for more. But let's go to the front of the pack. Closest Conrath has been actually looking to the inside of Jacob Harberts, trying to break the perfect race, because as we are now 88 coming to 89 laps. Oh wait, it already has been broken. Who won a lap?
Wasn't it Jalen Handcamp led a lap from a short pit stop? Am I misremembering something?
No, somebody. Oh, it was Conrath. I don't know when it happened, but it doesn't matter now. Boss man. Can't park there. Oh!
Ooh, what are we doing?
Well, I said Austin Teal hit everything but the lottery, right?
All right, so the boss man here going through, drops down, Austin Teal.
Now,
right.
Corey Bodie. Was he on TikTok or something?
That looks about as intentional as when Matt Kenseth wrecked Joey Logano and said, "Oh, I blew a right front."
I think he
and
was...
I know it probably wasn't intentional, but doggone if you wanted to say it was.
Corey Bodie was watching Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria and just got distracted. That's what it's the only explicable reason why he didn't see that car in the middle of the track. But anyways, this will be potentially, probably, the final pit stop of the race. Again, plenty of tires on the wall. I saw somebody stay out on the racetrack. That is Alex Chilcutt. That is for position. So Chilcutt will take the major strategy call. Again, remember last night, Van Drugman almost won the race on 2 tires. It's a risky call from Chilcutt, but remember, he pit on the last caution. His tires aren't too bad, about 20 laps old, but we'll see what everybody else does.
Let's see as we go in. I wouldn't be surprised to see some drivers take tires as they head through. Right sides go up for several trucks. Let's see if left sides start going up here.
Oh, Brad, we are getting confirmation in our YouTube chat. He was looking at Discord. Corey Bodie was, so maybe not Sydney Sweeney, but he was looking at Discord, and that's why. Yeah, I don't know if there's a +3 incident assessment by admin. +1 to the 44 for the ARCA break, and that is the exact verbiage.
I feel bad being the one to roast people, but like, come on now.
You shouldn't feel bad for it. On our other broadcast, that's the main... If we don't roast people, that's our claim to fame. We're just slowly integrating it here into area, but... Again, it's all in fun. We don't necessarily intend to upset anybody with our calls. Well, let me rephrase that. We don't intend to, but if it does, if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. But it's not our intent to get anybody mad at us, but we call what we see, we call what we feel, and not everyone's going to like that.
Ori, I feel like I'm the one who usually has to give that speech through. I feel like usually you're the one. Why are we reversing roles tonight? What is happening?
I don't know. I think I'm overly Sudafeded up, for lack of better terminology. Sudafed anxiety pills. I don't know if maybe they're reacting differently. Who knows?
We'll talk about that off air because I have an idea of what's actually happening then.
Uh-oh. Well, now I'm concerned for I'm concerned for a lot of reasons, but I'm also concerned not because I don't trust Alex Chilcutt, only because he is 24-lap old tires into the mix and everybody else is on freshies. So we now know the perfect race is no longer. Jacob Harbert's now down to the 4th spot. Chilcutt and Conrath on the front row. Barney will get him going up to speed just fine, but how well will that number 60 corner on those old tires?
Well, we're going to find out because you've got to get to lap 120. Look at the 49. Beautiful charge there to the inside there from Garrett Conrad to get up to the lead. Coming out. Oh, and the 5 is around. Garrett Grant's around. And, well, now Barney throws the caution. We're still wrecking, though. We're not done yet. Oh.
It wasn't even the initial. I got to find who that driver was, that blue and yellowish truck. I want to say, I don't know who it is, but he got hit from behind the 62.
No, that's the 62.
Yeah, I can't blame him. That's William Hale. I can't blame him for that as much as I want to. He got hit from behind, and that just threw him all sorts of different sideways. See, he got hit there, and it looks bad, but when you analyze it, really, there was not much he could do there, but yeah. We're having fun.
I feel like Peter Griffin just walked in. This is fun. We're having fun.
I feel like if on a fun gauge right now, chat, which one do you feel? As we do have a split bag, but again, a lot of the drivers pitting in the back. Garrett Grant for obvious reasons. William Hale for obvious reasons, and a few others. Hayden Swank in the pits. Would you rather go to TJ Maxx on a Sunday with your wife who has a bunch of coupons, or would you rather be involved in a race that is just caution-atopia?
I still think I'd rather do this. I'm just going to be real honest. I don't like people, and I live in a college town. My TJ Maxx is in a college town. So, yeah. You're asking me to go to TJ Maxx where the sorority sisters are and the old church lady crowd on a Sunday.
Because at least Kohl's, I can get distracted by, the men's clothing, the kitchen appliances, like, new toasters, blenders, air fryers. That could at least distract me for about a half hour. But there's literally no savior in TJ Maxx. Like, you have one shelf of men's clothing. I checked the clearance rack. All right, once there's nothing in my size, now I'm stuck. And that being said, with 20 some odd to go, do we play the caution game now, Brad, or do we wait for inevitably the next one?
Let's play it now. I'm gonna guess.
Actually, we have somebody in the chat doesn't know what TJ Maxx is. It's like a Marshall's. Basically, it's a place where if a Walmart or a Target or a closed chain doesn't sell all their stuff, this store will buy it at a cheaper price and then resell it for cheaper. So girls usually like it.
If you're Australian, it's TK Maxx. It's the same company. They call it TK Maxx instead of TJ Maxx.
But yeah, Marshall's, just kind of a discount retailer. They have all the name brand stuff, but at discount prices. But you don't want to go in with your significant other. But because I just rambled on, we'll play our caution game, hopefully, on the next caution. But hopefully we won't get to play it at all, because hopefully this will run green for 24 laps. But Harbert's back to the outside lane. Remember, as much as he's led, it'd be a heartbreak story for him if he can't put that 80 in victory lane. But the 49 wants to do it so badly as well, as we'll dive off into quarter number 1, closing in on the century mark.
And as we come through, look at this squeeze right here, the 80 and the 49 trying to squeeze along to the inside with the outside. No. Wiggles, weeble, wobbles all through the field, but somehow everyone keeps it together off of 2, and that allows the 80 to get along. The 49 now in the challenge with the 54.
Oh, no. We're 4
wide.
Why are we 4
wide? Why are we 4 wide? What are we doing?
Forrest Smith.
Why are we 4 wide?
Because it's
We're not even at
Darlington.
lap 100, guys.
It's Darlington, Brad. Don't you see there's 8 lanes of pavement, so there's absolutely no reason we can't go 4 wide. But there's 8 lanes of pavement. It doesn't matter that only 3 of them are usable.
Well, if you're going to say there's 8 lanes of pavement, use all 8 lanes then. Doggone.
Well, I will say they managed to not wreck for a lot longer than I thought that they would have managed to not wreck. But we'll just go back a little bit further here. And so the 09, a little slow on entry to 3, and he was wiggling. And I think when he wiggled, it just kind of caused the check up there. And then they're just bouncing off each other. And eventually 15 met the 9 in the exit of corner 4 there. But yeah. All right. I think you went first last time, so I guess I'll go first this time. I'm just gonna do a nice even 10 cautions.
I think I said 9 last time, which would put this at 10. So I'm also going to say that I agree with you on that.
Wait, is that in the rule book that we're allowed to be? I guess so. I mean, there is no rule book.
I'm
so
saying
I guess
it's in the rule books now. So screw it. I'm saying I said 9 last time, which means that this would have to be number 10. So yeah, this would have to be number 10. Survey says.
Oh, I think we have someone in our YouTube chat who just told us. But our race recap brought to you by Blue Tip Pool Builders. It is 10. For 29 laps, I will give credit. I don't know if it's admin or just the nature of this track, but these cautions have been rather short. So I will give credit to that. And Jalen Handcamp with the unsponsored fastest lap of the race. Of course, as I always say, for anyone who's relatively new to our channel, I have every ability to display the caution count on the screen. It's just a little running gag we do. We just like to guess whenever the races do tend to go in this direction. As Austin Teal, I don't know what that truck is made of, carbon nanotubes or something, but somehow that thing is still chugging with as many issues as he's had tonight.
I'm very, very impressed that his truck is hanging on because, yeah, I feel like we've seen him in several moments, either in the wall, in a spin. Didn't he absolutely slam into someone earlier? Am I remembering
I've
that
lost
right?
track of what's happened, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know where we're at with it. We're lap 100 and 120 right now, and
getting told as well that we almost had an incident when the lucky dog was getting clear as well. So,
guys.
Now, again, our next area broadcast will be here at the very same racetrack in 2 days for the Nopes cars in the Florida State Builders Pro Series. Now, of course, our last race with the Nopes cars was on the Kyle Busch loss day, which was very tragic, and that race went flag to flag. Now, is there correlation between that unfortunate event and why that race went green? I don't know, but I'm gonna also entertain that because that vehicle's so tough. I think that we'll have a lot cleaner of a race on Thursday in those Nopes cars. So stay tuned for that. But we did have, Brad, a pretty exciting finish last night in the Cup Series. And we have Cole Cabry starting to the inside of row 1 here. So talk about the number 54 and what Kyle Busch ran with that and how exciting that number was in the years past. We got a 54 up front, and the same levels of excitement are very possible.
Pull your belts tight one more time, and let's do this one more again into the Sunoco restart zone up in the front. Harberts and Caber go through. We're green, and the 49 of Garrett Conrath doing a bit of pushing on that inside line, trying to get things through. The 67 with a light bit of a wiggle there. Handcamp up into the top 5 now, following through side by side for second place off the exit of 2.
Oh, big wiggle from Cabry. A lot of contact off of a lot of contact off of turn corner number 2. But we all keep our trucks pointed in the favorable direction that keeps us going forward in green flag. Cabry dropping back immensely here, was second on the restart, back to 6th off of that opening lap. But Harberts Although the perfect race is off the table, he is still in the most advantageous position. Somebody's running the Darlington chicane back there. I think that's actually Nerdy. It was. But again, remains in control of the vehicle.
Coming down the front stretch here, looking at everyone starting to settle in. 17 laps to go. And right now, if you were Jeremy Miller, your thought right now for Jacob Harberts is, how do I get to the back of you and get past? And the answer is, don't slide on the exit of 2. Maybe will help you along here as we head into 3 and 4, sitting a long gap, a quarter of a second, which is not a bad position to be in right now. A little bit of patience will go a long way here. Brad Slaughter Jr. working up into 5th now and is looking to make a move into 4th there on hand camp. Is setting things up really well so far, and is just, it's going to be a matter of just getting the nose of that truck down to the inside, getting the pass done here. We check back in with Travis Beckner, who's trying to pass Chilcutt. Ooh, slides up in the front.
And Capri running the chicane as well, getting loose off the corner, going all the way down to the bottom of the track. But here is Handcamp, again, highest he's been since that pit road penalty, up to the 4th spot, looking for 3rd by Conrath, not to be had. And we'll see what Jeremy Miller has. He hasn't been in 2nd here this evening, to my knowledge, for a sustained amount of time. But Jacob Harberts, as soon as he was about to endure a challenge, a caution came out and interrupted it. So even though, again, not the perfect race, nobody has really put him in a spot where he's really had to hang on or battle, and that may be the 30.
Watching the gap continue to close in here little by little. It's going to 2/10. It's fluctuating to 3/10. The accordion effect is really playing. Big smoke of the wall on the exit of 2 for Jeremy Miller. That's not going to help the gap at all. And granted, I know that smack may not seem as severe in the truck, but I tell you what, looking at it from the outside, definitely one heck of a hit that he's taken there. Brad Slaughter Jr. here trying to make a move down the inside on Handcamp. Let's see if this works out into 1 and 2.
This is always a super sketchy situation. A little bit of contact through the center of 1 and 2 as we close in on 10 to go. 13 on the board. Cabry trying to pass on the outside of the exit of 2, which is not normally on the bingo card, but managed to do it successfully. But again, Brad Slaughter into 6th, but you know, he was up to 3rd for a little bit of time earlier in the race, top 5. But again, anything for Brad Slaughter within the top 10 is going to be a day that he should be happy with. Again, just having a solid day with minimal issues in a race that has had a myriad of issues. And how is Jonathan Evans still competitive right now in the top 10? He has had so many issues. We saw that huge spin and backwards wreck into 3. I thought that was going to be the end of his day, but evidently not.
Somehow not. I wish I could tell you how it's not, because it's been very impressive to watch so far and see how this plays through, but really the drivers are doing a great job. That's not a great job, though.
Talked about not bumping on corner exits. Somehow Chase Swank got away with it, and now we have a little quartet of vehicles here through 3 and 4 side by side. 71 will clear Taub and move up into the 7th spot. And looking a little further forward, Cole Cabry lost a spot to Brad Slaughter. And as I talk about quite a bit, Brad, there's quite a difference between being 6th and 5th. And currently in the top 5 for Brad Slaughter with that pass.
You know what? We saw some crazy things last night. 10 laps to go. We're buckling up for some crazy things tonight here. You've got a great pack of trucks here up in the top 6 that are not that far away from each other, and they are really doing a great job of keeping things close. And as we get near the end of this, it's all just going to continue to mix up and move up and down the track. Down the bone backstretch we go here, and heading into 3. Well, up in the front, top 3, still looking along here. Jeremy Miller, Garrett Conrath, Jacob Harberts. And, I mean, for Harberts, Corey, this is the point where you're smooth and consistent, and you just do everything that you need to do, and you just hold on.
Yeah, the battle for the lead right now, and you can see last time by 3 1,000ths faster for the 80 over the 49, but a tenth slower for Jeremy Miller. Again, Jeremy Miller second in the points now, 6 points behind Garrett Conrath. So really, if he could stay in front, that's obviously going to be advantageous for the points pitcher. Of course, Jeremy Miller having the win on the season, but Conrath not. And as each lap ticks by, it seems less and less likely that 49 is going to get that win situated here today. Of course, as I said, Thursday we'll be back here at Darlington for the Pro Series. Next week we will be, we don't really have any details on it, but it will be the All-Star race. So all 3 series will be off from competitive points competition, but we will have the All-Star race, which I believe is open to all series. So that will be fun, of course, next week. But closest battle on the track, Handcamp, Slaughter, and Cabry, 4th, 5th, and 6th, as we are on 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go. Look at Brad Slaughter here, putting the nose to the inside of Handcamp, going into 3. Going to go side by side through 3 and 4, which is the better area of the track to pass as we're heading up towards 5 to go now. And not able to clear through 54, though, with a big bump draft down the front stretch. Didn't even try to lift there. Cole giving a big shove there to Brad Slaughter. Slaughter's now going to pinch Handcamp up to the high line here, heading out of 2. And look at this racing. 54 again with a run. Is he going to try to hold on to it? And meanwhile, up ahead, we got a pass for second. We have the 28 of Beckner spending. And caution.
What fun would it be if what area truck series race would it be if we didn't go into overtime, Brad? It just wouldn't be a truck race. But let's see what happened on the good old replay. 46 of Jeremy Brown clears in front of the 60. Beckner down to the inside. Again, talked about how turn 2 is just not a good place to be side by side. Now, the fact that they were side by side really wasn't the instigator on that. It was more just 60 ran out of space, and when he hit the wall, he was down into Beckner.
It's such a... And it's such a minute thing that happens there that really is what changes that. That is what's so surprising, honestly, is the fact that it was such a minute wiggle. Nerney also gave a great inspection of the inside of the 60 there, and looking at the bottom of Chilcutt's truck, making sure that suspension was in tip-top shape, and making sure the back end of that truck had no issues.
Well.
Oh boy.
Jacob Harberts just lost this race. And I got a feel for him, because as we always say in these races, when you're the leader and it comes to making a last second pit call, whatever decision you make is wrong. And in this instance, he's going to be 14th. With overtime on the table, so Harberts, what's the final tally for him? 108 laps in, and he's going to be lucky to finish this in the top 10.
I have nothing. Darius Rucker, me, I got nothing. That's... wow.
So that puts Jeremy Miller, who again... very competitive here, very good in the truck series, second in points, has the win at Daytona, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s in the 8 races this season. Garrett Conrath, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s in the 8 races, but the goose egg in the win column. So if there is any driver in this field that is going to be hard to pass, it's going to be that 30. But he's going to choose the outside lane, and then just behind that, Brad Slaughter and Jalen Handcamp. And look at Chase Swank in that 71. He is going to be, I believe, in 5th or 6th right now. Good run for him in that 71.
Yeah, it's a very, very good run from the 71 through. I can't believe it when a race comes down to a call like that on a green-white checkered of just a mix-up of a call, but we'll see how it works. And for those of you who may not know how a green-white checkered work, if we get to the white flag, the next lap is done. They run it all the way to the end. Let's see how that plays out, because that means they have to complete a lap, which there's been a few times today we haven't caught a full lap on a restart. 49, Conrath to the inside, Miller to the outside here. Miller is the control truck. So let's see how this plays out here as we come out of 4.
Into the restart box, hopefully for the final time. Green flag in the air. Miller will get the whole shot. Conrath pulls back in the line. The best thing that can happen for him, because now he'll be right to the rear decklet of the 30, side by side. Handcamp and Slaughter for the 3rd spot. But will we have ourselves an amazing Darlington finish? We're wrecking in the back. We have a side-by-side battle for the lead. Will it cause a caution? Whether it does or not, I think Conrath is going to get the lead and control of the race. I believe. We'll see what scoring says. But it's Forrest Smith and Travis Beckner at minimum. Oh no, it was Nerney and Harberts, and that is a big power slide. So I'm not going to fault really Beckner or Forrest on that, because the wreck actually happened with Nerney and I think Harberts. Yeah, Harberts was probably driving red. Yeah, it all stemmed from that. We'll just get one more brief look at it. Just watch Harberts in that 80. He just drove it all the way down there to the Florida line.
Yeah, I think he was trying to visit Hendry County, honestly, looking through how low he went through, and then the 28 of Beckner trying to save it, and he just tail whipped.
How many times has Dollar General, Josh Parrish, been all the way down there, like, to the backstretch wall in this race? Every time we see him, he's down there evading a wreck to the inside wall.
I mean, I appreciate that he's evading wrecks, though. I mean, that's better than hitting a truck that's sitting still on the track.
Very true, because we have seen that here today. And one of our sponsors, the Rick's Hot Sauce Mobile of Ryan Swan, getting a lap back. He still is off of the lead lap, going to be in 22nd, pardon me, 1 lap down. Which I guess theoretically, if we get another green-white checker, he might get himself back on the lead lap, but we'll hope that is not the case. But as we said, you saw them racing side by side for the lead as that wreck was transpiring. And Conrath, they both drove it in deep into 3. I saw Jeremy Miller get in the wall because he knew that they were racing for control of the race. But Conrath did manage to get it for this next coming restart.
This is going to be very important for Conrath to be the control truck and be able to get this through, get up into the front. The problem is, once he gets up to the front, he's got to defend, and that, I think, is the scarier part. Honestly, if we get the white flag, I wouldn't be surprised if both of those trucks in the top 2 end up in a wall and wrecking on the final lap. They are racing very, very hard here in trucks, and, well, they've bottled it up for what's going on past 120 laps now for a second green-white checker to tip. This is lap 123 that we are on right now of a scheduled 120 lap race distance. So it'll be interesting to watch and see how these top 2 fight it out, what sort of battling happens, but we're getting ready to send it into 3. The pace truck will pull through, and, well, we're going to try it one more again.
Doesn't flow off your tongue, Brad, but I appreciate the effort. But anyways, Garrett Conrath taking the outside lane, Jeremy Miller to the inside, Handcamp and Slaughter consisting in row number 2. Will this be the final restart attempt? Will this be the final green-white checker? Take your bets, but we'll find out here in about 30 seconds. On the gas pedal, Conrath fires off, gets himself the whole... That might be a stealth caution. We might stay green because that was all in no man's land. Thus far, we still are green. Slaughter's day. saved it.
Good save from Slaughter. Look at that here as we come through 3 and 4 up in the front. The 49 holding the lead here, coming around out of 4. Conrath holds on to it, coming through. White flag this time by. He's taken the white flag. One lap to go, regardless of the wreck behind from Swank. This next lap is all.
Jeremy Miller about 2.5 tenths back as further chaos consists of the back of the field here. Major chaos. Oh my... I got nothing to say, but what I do have to say is our points leader, 8 races into the season, the goose egg will be cracked. We cracked a goose egg last night with James Scioli, and another one cracked here today. Conrath finally gets the win on the season. Garrett wins here at Darlington.
And a great run from behind for Jeremy Miller to pick up 2nd place. Handcamp able to hold on to 3rd, and well, everyone 4th place back.
I don't even know if I want to watch any of this, Brad, but I feel obligated to.
I'm okay if we don't. I know it's probably part of our contractual duties to show.
All right, there's part of it.
So that's the 71 of Swank. Chase Swank taking out a majority of everyone else through there. And then there's another wreck that happens after that that takes out more of the field. And then Arca Brakes get involved somewhere as well. There's the 32 going around.
Yeah, there's probably more, but as we said, I don't want to further bring that up too much. But again, for full congratulations go to Garrett Conrath. Again, I'm sick, and apparently due to Brad, I'm over-medicated here. But final tally for Garrett here today, 11 laps here today. You got to feel for Jacob Harberts. He did salvage himself a 7th, but as Conrath will burn it down here on the front straightaway. Let's go and give you the final rundown of results here today from the lady in black. Final margin of victory is going to be 7 tenths over 2nd place. Conrath over Jeremy Miller. Handcamp a solid 3rd. Jonathan Evans, what a day to come back from all of his issues to get a top 5 out of this. Kyle Taub, Brad Slaughter salvaged himself a good day. Harberts, got a feel for him, led over 100 laps. Forrest Smith, Josh Parrish, and Nerney snuck out a top 10.
The 11 on the night, Ryan Nowicki with Trevor Edwards, Alex Chilcutt, Hayden Swank, Travis Beckner in 15th, Sinisak, Jeremy Brown, Jeff Wilson, Chase Swank in 19th, Cody Dempster in 20th.
And then just let the rest of them scroll on through because all of these drivers were just involved in a whole bunch of hoopla, which let's just get the final tally here on the day. 12 cautions for 36 laps, so that was about 1/4 of the race. A little bit more than that. Ended up running 125 laps here on the evening. But let's head down to victory lane with Garrett Conrath. And Brad, because my voice is on Struggle Street, I'll send you down to victory lane with our winner.
And it's going to be Garrett Conrath here in the victory lane. Started 2nd, finished 1st. How's it feel to drink the victory fuel here at Darlington?
It's been a tough one this season, but finally got the monkey off my back to get the win at definitely my best racetrack. Feels really good. The whole race there, I felt like I had probably the best truck, long run speed. Just couldn't quite get in front of Jacob for the most part of the race. The one time I did, he beat me on a restart. So feels good just to get it at the end there.
Yeah, definitely seeing it through and seeing that run on that first green-white checkered. It seems like that's really where things set off in the difference for you there in the truck. What do you think you had there on the restart to really keep things going ahead?
Yeah, I knew Jeremy right before that yellow where Jacob pitted. I knew Jeremy was starting to struggle with his tires a little bit, so I knew if I could just get a nose on him, I felt like I could hopefully beat him there. So going into turn 3 when we were side by side, I just drove it in as deep as I could and hope I wasn't going to hit the wall, and yellow came out where I had the lead. So.
And then looking ahead here, next week, of course, is the All-Star race, so it's an off week, and then we go on the 16th of June to the Milwaukee Mile. How are you feeling about that coming up in 2 weeks?
Really good. That's my home track. Live only about 30 minutes away from it. I enjoy it on the games, so hopefully it'll go back to back.
Awesome. And Garrett, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
I'd like to thank Hendry County Motorsports Park, Superior Race Car, General Elevator Solutions, and Velocity RPM.
Awesome. Thanks, Garrett. Congratulations on the win, and we'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, guys.
And Corey, that means Jeremy Miller goes to you.
All right, we got Jeremy Miller in the booths. Ended up with a second place, started ninth, but that doesn't tell the whole tale. Obviously, the race was in your grasp there, and I can't imagine how you're feeling there, where it kind of came into a battle from the timing line there. How do you kind of process how that last sequence turned out?
Yeah, I mean, he was going to clear me anyways if the yellow didn't fly there, so it didn't really... That's not what irritated me. I just didn't want to have to work that hard for the podium. I don't think I deserved to win the race by any means. Garrett was definitely better than me there, and Jacob was better than me. I cooked my right front trying to race Harvards for it on that previous run, and just... I was better than him for 3 and 4 most of the laps, but the 1 and 2 with Dirty Air was just cooking me, and I just did not hold on to my right front as well, and that's what let Garrett get me on the green-white checkers.
Yeah, Garrett ended up getting it, and obviously for a points day, you don't want to lose to the guy who's ahead of you in the points, but still a couple of good tracks left before the chase with only 3 races to go. We head to the Milwaukee Mile next. Kind of an outlier track, underused. What's your confidence level heading there in a couple weeks' time?
Just gotta stay in front of the guys that keep wrecking themselves every week, really. Somewhere like that probably will see quite a few guys driving overheads and causing them, and I think the Truck Series is where I've been my cleanest all season, so just trying to continue that.
Absolutely. I know, like, it get kind of a contradiction where the roughest series on the league is your best one this far, but either way, keeping the trend going, man. Any final shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, just thanks to Vac Esports, 609 Motorsports as well. They helped me out a lot, even though I'm not representing them in the Truck Series. And I kind of got ripped away from Jacob there because these guys can't stop wrecking themselves with 4 or 5 laps to go every week. But I think that's like the 3rd or 4th time already this season that he had a race won and that happened. So just feel for him and Connor and all those guys. And just congrats to Garrett on another good win, and thanks to Matt Liveries.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Great job, and we'll catch you soon, man.
Thanks.
And then rounding out the podium here today, Jalen Handcamp with the 3rd with Brad.
Jalen Boss in the number 6-7 machine started out in 5th, finished in 3rd. A wild race up and down. How'd you feel there in the truck today?
Well, at the start, I felt really good, and then I so-called sped on pit road. But I'm just glad I was able to recover for something decent at the end.
Absolutely. It seemed like this race was a race of attrition here. And talk to me about that speeding penalty you got on pit road. The fact you were able to recover up to 3rd is definitely a big show on a track that's very, very difficult to pass on.
Well, regarding the speeding, I was going 45 the entire time, so I'm not sure where I sped. But that's iRacing. But it's just, there's so many cautions. You just have to be good at the restarts, really, and get lucky to not get wrecked.
Absolutely. And looking ahead here next week, it's All-Star Race. We're off. What are you doing for the off week? You got any exciting plans?
Well, not really. I'm enjoying my first summer out of high school, so I'm probably nothing.
Hey, listen, nothing is something that you should enjoy because you don't get a lot of those nothing times anymore. But, Jalen, man, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shout out, the floor is yours.
Well, I'd like to shout out Boyd Motorsports for letting me run this the rest of the season as an open car. I couldn't do it without them. That's pretty much it, actually.
Awesome. Well, Jalen, congratulations, man. We'll catch up with you later, and, well, enjoy your week off of nothing.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, Brad, how do we summarize, or do we bother summarizing it? Do we just kind of say that is what it was?
I'm not summarizing it. You can try if you want, but I don't know how I would summarize that, to be honest. That was
it is what it was.
A wild race. Yep.
Well, again, like, share, comment, subscribe, both on the YouTube. Consider following on the Twitch. $5 a month, custom emotes, double points. Get that for free merch in due course. Stay tuned on here on PTR TV tomorrow night, the Elbows Out Racing League season finale. And then stay tuned to Thursday. We'll be back here at the same track in the Florida State Builders Pro Series. Should be a lot cleaner of a race than this. All my inklings will lead me into that direction, but stay tuned and we'll answer that question out for definitive. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
See you.